Knowing that these instruments not only were played, but were loved, and in some cases were the difference between life and death for people. And to carry on the legacy and the stories of those who didn't is really honoring and incredible, to even have us put more of our heart into the music that we're playing.
Take a look at these F-holes.
Oh, yeah.
They've got like little flowerets on the end of them.
I've never seen a cello like that.
The cello brings with it memories of what happened then. And those memories are not good. History that you forget becomes repeated. We don't want this repeated.
The klezmer pieces were a deliberate choice. The Kol Nidre prelude that we're playing as the quartet, I felt, and I think others felt, it was important that those instruments be heard clearly. So this sparked the idea that we could have a klezmer ensemble that could play in this sort of traditional style.
I think it's great for all communities to come together and recognize that even in the midst of dark times or atrocities in the past and struggles currently and potentially in the future, that there can be things that bring people together no matter what their background is. Music is something that does bring hope, and music brings life.
It's a different thing to play in a small ensemble without a conductor presence. You know, it's four people. This particular piece that we played, it got a lot of open spaces. It's got a lot of tempo changes. It gets fast, it gets slow. It opens and sits and lets the notes resonate, and then it jumps right back in.
I wanted to make sure we did something sacred. That's why we're doing the Kol Nidre prayer. But I also was contacted when I mentioned that we wanted to do that. The people from the Violins of Hope told me that they wanted something that would not only remember the sacred and the sad parts, but also the happy parts. Luckily, we have a member of our orchestra, Mr. Harold Kasonic, who years ago put together a collection of klezmer pieces.
My father was from Białystok, Poland, and Białystok was made up of some 90,000 people. And of the 90,000, there were about 55,000 Jews that lived there. Today, there are about 2,000 Jews that live in Białystok, Poland. And my uncle is a survivor of Auschwitz. And I have an aunt and a niece that didn't survive Auschwitz. I'm Jewish. I grew up Jewish in a very small town in New Hampshire that did have a temple and had a rabbi who was also a good cantor. And I listened to the music of the Jewish people as I was growing up in this community. As a musician, I took on certainly the sounds, the modes, the passions, the emotions of the music. Jamin asked if I would take an ensemble and work with them with the arrangements of klezmer music that I had set up. If you've heard Fiddler on the Roof and the way the music was performed, you would call that klezmer. The actual word klezmer is made up of actually two words. One is klez and the other is zemer. And klez means a vessel and zemer means song. As it's played out, I've really been very pleased with not only what we've been able to do musically, but the reactions of the players to the message that the Violins of Hope portrays. These violins remind us that even after destruction, Jewish life and love did return and still resound today.
We have this klezmer ensemble that has really, through Hal's work, has really, I think, brought out all the range of that type of music. It's joyous, it's funny, it's celebratory, it's mournful. For these violins to be heard in that way, I think it's a perfect blend of two different ways that these instruments could be heard. You can read about history in a textbook. There is no equivalent to holding these instruments in your hand, knowing what they've been through, what their owners have been through. To interact with it in this way is pretty incredible.